Good morning, everybody. Hello, how's everybody doing this morning? I hope everyone's doing well. Welcome. If you're new here, my name is Dustin, and this channel, Modern Metaphysicae, is about all things occult and esoteric with a very heavy leaning on the tarot. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming by. I hope everyone is enjoying their Sunday. Today, I thought we could do another episode of my recent roundups where I share with all of you guys the things that have come into my collection over the past month or so, from books to tarot decks to a few other random odds and ends I have to share today. I hope you guys enjoy what I do have to showcase. Also, as always, all of the links to all of the things I'm sharing today are in the description box down below. So if you're looking for any of the stuff, if you want to pick up a copy of a book or a tarot deck yourself, you can find all of that down in the doobly-doo. Down there, you'll find links to all of my social media where you can reach out and connect, as well as a link to my personal website where you can book a tarot reading with yours truly. All of that is down there, so be sure to check it all out. Also, don't forget to thumbs up, like, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. So yeah, how's everybody doing in chat? A knit hat emote, yes. The hat emote works for this one. I like it. It was definitely a hat day. It was a long week. I know that we're still missing tarot scopes. So this past week, which was supposed to be a week of recovery, ended up being a week, a little bit of a crazy week. We had another trip to the emergency room, which was only 4 hours instead of 4 days. So I'm very thankful for that. Everyone's doing well. Everything's good, which is wonderful. But I'm pooped. I'm running on fumes. There's been a lot going on. I'm trying to give myself some grace and some time to kind of rest and recuperate after these past couple weeks have just been all over the place for me. So I do appreciate everyone's patience with that. In regards to the membership Taroscope readings, I think what I'm gonna do are some fall, some autumn equinox sort of readings. I think that's how we're going to play catch up with that. So I hope everyone enjoys those. I'm still playing around with ideas on how I want to do that, but I think that's what we're gonna do. Other than that, we do need to figure out when we're gonna do a book club roundup. I don't know what we're gonna do with that, so I'm gonna try and post later today or tomorrow in the Discord for all of my study hall peeps. So keep an eye out for that as well. I think that is it for the usual housekeeping stuff. So yeah. This week has been a long year. Yes, I agree. That is, yeah. That is a thing. That is definitely a thing. So, whew. We got some sun energy today though. I felt like this is what we need to bring in. There's some happy new beginnings, some good positive energy. That's where we're going. So, that's what we're drinking our magic potion of coffee from. All right. So, let's see here. I have quite a few things I want to share with you guys today. The first of which, I don't know, is Tom in chat today? Are we missing Tom? I don't know where he is, but I wanted to give a big shout out and thank you to Mr. Tom, um, because he wound up finding me the Hobonichi Weeks that I have been desperately in search of. So this is my go-to planner system for anyone who's been curious. I know I've talked about this on the channel before, but the Hobonichi Weeks is like my go-to. I usually keep it in this sort of situation. So this is a beautiful Galen leather little thing I have, and you can see I keep like notes and loose. Is there anything personal? No. You know, all the usual stuff, bank cards, etc. All of it goes in here. And then this is the current year that I have. And then this is for 2026. So yeah, this cover, given the what did I hit something weird here. There we go. Given the craziness with shipping that's been going on because of all of the tariffs and stuff, this has been very difficult to find. In fact, I don't even think Amazon is carrying this cover, but they have a whole bunch of the other ones. But this one I specifically wanted because the story about it. So when you get them, when you get one of the artist covers, you always get these cool little cards with them that you did miss your praise. You get one of these cool little cards with it that tells you about the artist. And when I read this online, I was like, this is the one that I want. So I'm not gonna attempt to pronounce his name, because I don't want to butcher it. But this artist was born in 1978 and he graduated in 2001 from an engineering and architecture school. In school, he participated in many fields, including writing, painting, music, and architecture. And in publicly, he shared that he lives with bipolar disorder and has been running a crisis line, which is Inichu no Denwa, I think is how you say it, on his personal cell phone since 2012 to take calls from anyone contemplating suicide, which I just think is amazing. The world needs more people like this person. So yeah, I thought this cover, not only was it beautiful, but the story behind it and the artist is just moving. So yeah, this is the one that I desperately wanted, and of course, when Hobonichi dropped their planners, it was like the hardest thing in the world to find. But Mr. Early Ritual in chat managed to find one at a local stationery store where he lives, where he picks up a lot of his Hobonichi stuff because he's a Hobonichi fan as well. So big shout out. Thank you so much for picking this up for me. I really, really appreciate it. And this will be my planner for next year. So this came in, very excited about it. It's shiny and new, and I can't wait till December so I can move into it. But for now, it will live tucked away until such the date comes. So there's that. Oh no, Bunny Kisses, you needed a new vehicle. That's always, oh God. Whenever it's time to buy a new car, it is like, that's always a thing, right? Like, that's, yeah. Whew. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, coffee. All right. So, in terms of books, the first book I wanted to share with you guys is, try not to knock this over, that I got in is the new Dan Brown novel. Oh my gosh. So, what occultist, spiritual wooey person doesn't enjoy some Dan Brown? I love the Dan Brown series of novels. They're a guilty pleasure. Not a guilty pleasure. I don't feel guilty, but I love these things. So I did pick up The Secret of Secrets, and so this came in, and so when I finish My current read, this will be what I will pick up and read, but I did want to share with you that there is a new Dan Brown novel out. And yeah, this one takes place in Prague, obviously. But I love these books and the intrigue and the conspiracy theories and all of that fun stuff. So if you're a Dan Brown fan, go pick it up. I've heard very good things so far from a couple of friends who are almost finished um, with this. So it's very heavy too. I will say that. But yeah. So there's that. Where do I want to put this stuff? I guess I can kind of slide it like over here to the side. It's okay if we see it a little bit. The other thing I had come in, which I literally just featured last week on stream, was this history of astrology and divination book from DK. So they did a history of like magic and the occult, same format. Really lovely book, and these are great. I love them because they're kind of coffee book table style books. I'm trying to get this in frame here so you guys can see, but there's lots of really cool big pictures. There's a whole section on the I Ching in here. There's some really cool stuff in here. So if you're looking for like a kind of a general overview of divination, astrology, etc., there is a section on tarot in here, which of course I'm not going to be able to find just off the cuff. They do mention tarot in here, but yeah, there's some cool stuff in here. Birth charts. So yeah, these are fun little books. I love so these books. I love getting these books because sometimes I just want to read something. Like reading actually really helps me regulate my anxiety and other stuff. And so sometimes if I'm feeling super anxious and I don't want to like sit down and like digest a chapter of a book, but I want just like a short read, I will grab these kinds of books and read the little essays on a given topic in them, which is why I love picking these up. So they kind of help me in that way. So yeah, beautiful book. I was very surprised that it came this fast and that it's so lovely. So isn't that cover gorgeous? Yeah, amazing. I hate these little. I wish this was a sticker. It's not a sticker, but I wish it was. So, but yeah, great books. I love these things. They're wonderful. So go check them out. Uh, let's tuck that away. And then our friends over at Weiser Books sent over this for review. So this showed up. So thank you. A huge shout out to Weiser Books for sending this over. They saw the channel and felt like this would be a book of interest to me, and it definitely is. So this is Witching Stones, the lore and craft of the essential crystals, gemstones, and minerals to empower your magic. So I haven't digested this yet. I definitely think I can cruise through this pretty quickly. But basically it kind of gives the magical properties and the backgrounds to a lot of common crystals and minerals that are used in modern witchcraft, which is really cool. I will say my first knee jerk reaction to this was there's no pictures. I wish there were pictures. I will say one thing about crystal books is that I think pictures are a must. But the couple of little sections I did read through this already, I really enjoyed the content, and that's wonderful. So for someone like me who one has a little metaphysical boutique and sells crystals and is quite familiar with them and knows what they look like, I don't really need pictures, but I feel like pictures would have been amazing for this. But yeah, this has some cool stuff in it, some cool like lore and background on different crystals and minerals and things like that. So I'm very excited to just kind of spend some time with this and read this and digest this so I can do a more full and comprehensive review. But I did want to give a shout out and a thank you for sending this over for review because my first my kind of first impressions are this is a cool book. And this is the kind of like crystal book that I like, right? Because it gives I think for me, right, when it comes to my practice, right, we're going to go big for this. I think for me, when it comes to my practice, context is really important for me. Where things come from, where beliefs come from, the etymology of words and rituals, the history, all of that stuff to me is very important. Um, and so having the kind of lore and history blurbs that are in this to, you know, give insight into that stuff is just like the background on my favorite stone, labradorite, right? It's beautiful. You know, and Inuit tribes and things like that believe that it was like frozen northern lights, or the northern lights had been captured into a stone. And stuff like that is just it it brings it to life, right? And so this kind of a book I think is wonderful. I have a few crystal reference books, right? And a lot of them are like, this crystal is good for, you know, calming, and it's associated with the, you know, the solar plexus chakra, and its herbal association is basil, and you know, and it's all just kind of like tabular format, like info, which is really easy to come by today. So when you get stuff like this that has context included in it, I really value and appreciate that. So check this one out for sure. And again, a huge thank you to Weiser for sending this over for review. Nothing scripted, by the way. They were just like, hey, we think you would like this. Would you like a copy? And I was like, absolutely. So yeah, there is that. Okay, so we're gonna set this over here and drink some more coffee. Give us the rock porn, right? Yeah. Crystal pictures are always nice. Okay. So there are all of my books. That's all I got book wise. It was a light book month. Now, in terms of decks, so Llewellyn reached out. Huge shout out and thank you to Llewellyn Publishing, because their team reached out and offered to send me some of the recently released decks that um, came in very quickly. So this one arrived yesterday. I took the plastic off, and that's kind of all I've really done. So very excited for that. This actually came in after I opened this, after I put the video up. But they also sent a whole box. I don't even know if I can get this stuff here. What is it? But they sent a whole box of stuff. Ugh. Thank you, Llewellyn. um, a whole box of stuff. So they sent me a copy of poisonous plants and fatal fungi, which I'm excited to check out. They also sent me a copy of the hardcover edition of Matt Oren's Psychic Witch, which is gorgeous and beautiful. Which, by the way, I have read this book. It's amazing. Matt's work is fantastic. Love it. If you haven't read it yet, you should go read it. This new hardcover edition looks really nice. I love that it's like, even has like edging and stuff. They're cool. And papers, they're okay. Um, but they sent this. They also sent the new Forest of Enchantment Oracle. As you can see, it's still in plastic. I have yet to unwrap it, as well as the Grim Tales Tarot and the new Verdance Tarot. So I'm going to be unwrapping these and checking them out and doing some reviews. I'm not including these in today's videos because I haven't really spent any time with them. It's been a crazy week. But I wanted to let everyone know that they're coming, and say thank you to Llewellyn for sending these over, because that was very generous and very nice. So this week, I'm hoping I can spend some time playing with these and checking this stuff out, because I'm very excited. But I did get to check out one deck already. Just set these down. Oh, okay, there we go. Already that they sent over, which is the new mass market version of the Lubanco Tarot, which you guys, I backed this on Kickstarter way back when it was a thing. Let's see here. We're gonna switch cameras. So, yeah, this deck. Now, first of all, they're adding these to their Llewellyn. I love you guys, but let's take the money that these things cost and put it into the decks, which is what we use every day and what we care about. I don't need this. I have like really nice like crystal ones and stuff like that. This is, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why we do this. Just invest it into the product, please. Please, please, please. But I will say this. The cardstock on this, Llewellyn. You guys are stepping it up on your cardstock game. So the cardstock is it's not as nice as the Kickstarter. The Kickstarters are always the best, right? But the finish on this is really nice. It's like a nice papery cardstock. It's edged, as you can see, which is a really nice finish. It's on the thin side. Llewellyn, for some reason, always likes to have thinner cardstock. Not my personal favorite, but this is good cardstock. I'm pleasantly surprised and okay with the quality of this cardstock. And of course, you do get a nice little guidebook, which is full color, right? But I love this deck. This deck is gorgeous. I use my mass market version quite often. The artwork is amazing. I love this hangman. It's gorgeous. This deck is just gorgeous. So I'm really happy to see that this got picked up mass market, because it definitely deserves the attention. I mean, it is really an amazing modern deck, and it doesn't mess around. Like, that's what I really like about it, is that it has a dark side, right? And I talk about that all the time. I really like my decks, especially Oracle decks, but tarot decks as well, to not just be light and fluffy, because no one's life, well, most people's lives, who knows, there's probably someone out there, but most people's lives aren't rainbows, butterflies, kittens, and unicorns, right? So I like to have some realism when I do my readings, right? I like to have that dark and that light. So I love that about this deck. The art style is so unique. And the printing on this is really well done, because the blacks are nice and dark. And that was one thing I was a little worried about when I saw that this was going mass market. I was like, oh no, are they going to do glossy cardstock, because the deck is so dark and contrasty, meaning that the darks are really dark and the lights are really light, right? And so a lot of times in print, what people turn to in order to preserve that and to make it look good is gloss, because it does do that. But whatever technique they used on this deck, it's fantastic. So if you missed out on this in the Kickstarter, um, yeah, I would pick this up. This is great. Now, I am gonna do like kind of a full review of this, and they did send an extra copy, so stay tuned. Be sure to subscribe, because I'm gonna do a giveaway of the extra copy when I do the full review. So make sure you subscribe, all that fun stuff. Click the bell notification so that you can get updates. But in the next week or so, I'm gonna do a full review of this and compare it to the Kickstarter version, and we'll do a giveaway for this. Like with all my giveaways too, it's only open to United States residents. 18 years or older, all that stuff. I will include that in the appropriate video, but I wanted to give all of my favorite live stream folks a heads up. So yeah, so I got that. Hi, Miss Moonlight. Welcome in. So there's that. And I like the box. I'm so glad we're moving, Lewellyn, let me just say, I'm so glad we're moving away from those giant kits. Personally, I was never a huge fan of those. Okay. I will say, as much as I just feel like this is a complete waste of material and money, and I will never use it, I do like that it fits into the little card slot. Like that makes my OCD happy. um, so there's that. That's the Lou Bunko. I mean, there's a couple artist card and goodies there. Okay. So those came in. Along the same lines of mass market, I did pick up the Fairy Tale Tarot, which is published by Lo Scarabeo. This, frankly, surprised me. So standard kind of Lo Scarabeo cardstock in terms of its very kind of papery. It's pretty much their standard Lo Scarabeo cardstock that came in the tuck boxes. But you do get this nice little guidebook now, which of course is in multiple languages. I get it. I don't know. There's very basic stuff in here. Nothing crazy. Um a hard box though, which I really like. Love hard boxes. Um but I was pleasantly surprised by this deck. The artwork is gorgeous. Let's make sure we're in focus here. Hold on. There we go. The artwork is gorgeous. It's really lovely. I love all this actually kind of has like a late 90s fantasy vibe, which I think is what I really love about it. There's like this twinge of nostalgia for me when it comes to this deck. And when I was looking at it originally, because it does have that kind of look to it. And I do love uh all of the different references to all of the different fairy tales and stuff in here too. I love that star. It's beautiful. This is great. The kind of werewolf like fairy tale situation going on here, right? Like that idea between, you know, the tamed and the wild that we see in the moon card. I thought that was great. I can totally see that, Laura. I totally agree. Yeah. Yeah. And the backs are lovely. I love this sort of like flower of life design. The fishtails is kind of interesting. Um, very Arthurian feeling here, right? Cups. It's great though. It's a great little deck. Very RWS, right? And you know, I love this Eight of Cups. Um, I love the little jackalope. It's so cute. Uh, of course we've got a leprechaun. um, I love that it's not a little fish and it's this giant kraken octopus. It's a fun deck. And it feels, this whole deck feels nostalgic to me, which I really really like. There's tons of kind of European um fairy tale folklore kind of references in here, which I really love and appreciate. So definitely this one's intense, but definitely one I will enjoy working with, right? It's a cool deck. Page of Wands and this Phoenix. Ooh. I love how in action the knights are in this deck. It's really cool. Isn't that gorgeous? Makes me happy. This is so intense. Some of this artwork is just look at how I love how in action they are. So yeah. So that came in the Fairy Tale Tarot. Beautiful deck. Really, really digging it. And then like I said, the guidebook, nothing crazy in here. The other thing I will say is that I really wish um there are some like references to kind of what's going on in here, right? In terms of like, so for example, the page of or the page of swords, right? Fairies are cunning, curious, and inquisitive creatures who enjoy interacting with the charismatic characters. So you get like a little, oh, we're like completely blurry. What's going on? Hey, focus. My camera is being cranky today. There we go. Um, this is how you know I'm live. You get some like cool little blurbs about like what's on the card and stuff, but it doesn't really like go into a lot of like detail about like the folklore or the fairy tale associated with the images on the card. So I wish the guidebook was more. Like you could have taken the guidebook, the second half of the guidebook, which is translated in or to different languages, and taken those pages and made a more fleshed out guidebook, right? And then just had different SKUs for the different languages. I don't know why we don't do that. It's 2025. We should be doing that, right? So very cool. So um all right. So give me a second here. Looks like there we go. My chat was being cranky. So there's that, the Fairy Tale Tarot. So that came in. I'm going to save one thing for last year. I did get a couple Kickstarters in that I wanted to share with you guys. So I did get the Dreaming Eye in. This is that kind of, a lot of people said it was creepy. I think it's cool. This is that tarot deck that was done using charcoal. The artist did everything in charcoal. But there's like eyes throughout the whole deck. Excuse me. I've always had a long fascination with eyes. In fact, when I was in art school, I did this whole like series of I took a large format camera and I did here we're gonna swap here really quick. I did I did these like super close up macro photographs of people's eyes, but I just took and printed like a big long strip that was just their eyes. It was really cool. I loved it. I still have the prints. I'll have to show you guys at some point if I dig up one. There, I'm getting close to where my like portfolios from art school are in that closet. As you can see, this pile is continuing to kind of grow and not move. That's because we're pulling everything out and organizing when I have time. Um, but eyes have always been something that have fascinated me. Right, they're the gateway to your soul. Right, there's a whole lot of myth there. So I had to get this one. Really cool deck. Lots of cool occult symbolism and things like that. But there's lots of eyeballs through the whole deck, which creeped a lot of people out. But I don't know. I kind of dig it. So beautiful, beautiful artwork. Um, Gorgeous stuff. All done with charcoal. And the backs are really nice too. I like the backs. Pretty basic kind of US games cardstock. The ring on my left hand. This one? This is my left hand. It's just a little quartz nugget. Yeah, it's just a little quartz nugget. I like it because it has a little rainbow in it. I don't know if it'll pick up on camera, but it's in there. Um, but yeah, beautiful. Look at this. Oh, it's Page of Pentacles. Gorgeous artwork. All done with charcoal, which I love. I loved drawing in charcoal in art school. So that came in from Kickstarter. Slide that back in here. That's okay. So there's that. I'm gonna adjust my chat here so I can make sure I see everything. But yeah, it's just a little quartz crystal ring. I also got in the Via Pax Tarot. So this one caught my eye on Kickstarter because I just loved the artwork. But the cool thing about this deck is, so you have the standard tarot deck, which is printed in on linen. Gorgeous artwork. Beautiful stuff. Love it. Love it. Very my style, right? But along with it, there is the Via Tarot, which is like uh, a matching deck. But so instead of getting like the full art, you get like an affirmation. So the full, I embrace the power of my imagination and trust the journey ahead. And then it has like a keyword and then like a little, it's like a guidebook deck, which is kind of a cool thing, right? Um, so I just thought it was really clever. So I picked this up. So this, first of all, like you could pick this up and it'd be a great tool to learn the tarot, right? Like you could use this deck to practice and learn the meanings of while you're kind of reading. And then you don't have to like constantly be flipping back and forth through a guidebook, right? And I like that there's substance to this, right? They didn't just like put a keyword on it or things like that. Because a lot of like the starter tarot decks will just have like a few keywords on it, but like this has some substance, which I like. And then the more you get used to it, the more you learn it, you can use the standard deck, which I thought was just really clever. And the standard deck is really, I mean, really beautiful. I love the artwork in this. Look at this Six of Swords. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, that mist. It's great. Great little deck. So, this was a Kickstarter. I'm not sure if this one is going to be available post Kickstarter. If does anyone know? I included the Kickstarter um in the description so people can follow along, but um if anyone knows if they're going to sell these separately, let me know. I did see that they did ask if so these are bridge size. Obviously, look at my giganto hand. They did ask if people would be interested in the larger formats when the Kickstarter was complete, which I totally want. So, um, love it. Are they flipped? No, they're not. They're just black and white, and they're just small and cropped differently. So, oh, they are reversed. No, you're right. I think. Did I not notice that? Let's look. Now you're making me look. That's a good question, Mitski. Um, some of them are slightly different. So the Fool is slightly different. So there's some slight differences in the art, but it looks like the Magician is the same. So they're cropped differently because they're like horizontal and stuff. So I think that's what it is. So I think that's it. Okay. So we'll put these back in here. little tuck boxes. Okay, so those are back in there. I'm gonna tuck these away here. Okay, and then the last thing, how are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing good. Okay. So the last thing I finally got in was the infinite door, which I shared this. So this is Sterling Ethos. My box came kind of beat up. The box is nice. It's like papery and it's embossed. The text is embossed. Very tactile. Um, Now it's one of those little like slide out drawer situations. Um, but this cardstock and this deck are wicked cool, guys. Like, let me make some room here so you guys can see. It's such a bizarre kind of ethereal, existential, modern take on the tarot. And I love it. The cardstock is very papery. It's kind of an oracle size. So it's a little smaller. I think actually it might be the same size as, no, it's a little smaller than Pagan Otherworlds. Or not Pagan Otherworlds, the Druidcraft. It's a little shorter. Um, but it's funky and it's cool and I like it. Very kind of pastel-y color palette. There's references in here to both RWS, Marseille, and Thoth, so you'll pick up on some of that as we go through. Um, Really cool modern take on the tarot. I don't really have anything else like this in my deck or in my deck collection. Look at that. Isn't that cool? It's just so cool. It just feels so otherworldly. Look at that Ace of Cups. Yeah, there is like very surrealism, Dolly-esque kind of vibes in here for sure. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Look at that. I love this. The moon is like a hand and it's covering her eyes instead of the blindfold. I think that's really cool stuff. So this one I was really surprised by. The quality of it is amazing. Look at those grapes. Look at the bubbles. I love bubbles. Aren't these nights wonderful? Pretty simple backs. Really like it. It does come with a guidebook. And the guidebook's kind of cool because it's um kind of Japanese style binding, which I think is really cool. So it lays flat, which is when you're like doing a reading and you're trying to like flip through a guidebook, right? And you're trying to like reference things, this is good because it stays flat and it stays open. But you can see here the guidebook. You do get kind of the big descriptions and things like that for your majors, and then your minors just have a small little blurb and then some upright and reversed meaning. So nothing crazy in the guidebook, but very well thought out and very well constructed. So props to Sterling Ethos for um the quality of this. It's just it's wonderful. I will say it could have been a little bit bigger. It's a little snug in there, but Beautiful deck. I'm excited to work with this one for sure. So that is the Infinite Door Tarot. And then, like I'd mentioned earlier, we got this in finally. So this came yet literally yesterday. And I just took the plastic off. So this is going to be a little bit of a first impressions. Okay. Look, it still has the little like thing in. I like took it out, made sure that everything was in here, and took the little paper band off, and that's all I did. So you get a nice big guidebook, which let's take a peek at the guidebook first and foremost. So, oh, there's like there's like a good chunk of like info about tarot. Before you even get to the meaning of the cards meaning. Okay, so there's first steps. Okay, the journey begins. I like how this is laid out. The journey, first steps, deep roots of tarot, short history of tarot, mysteries of the tarot, the codes of the tarot, conclusions of the secret ages, and card spreads, and then we get into. So there's some cool stuff in here that I will definitely. Oh, they even talk about like rites of the greater mysteries. Oh, the illusion mysteries. Okay, all right, this is cool. Totally first impressions, by the way. I haven't looked at this at all. Um, yeah. And then you get your card meanings. Okay, so you get your majors. So there's like a little, I don't, I'm kind of in the way, but there's like a little blurb down here, which is like a quick reference. And then there's the mystery, which is interesting. So the chariot triumph symbolizes the moment of glory and celebration. It follows the traditional iconography of historic decks representing the chariot used in triumphal parades of ancient Greece and Rome. In the image, Nike, the goddess of victory, drives the chariot. In the illusion mysteries, the Mystai followed chariots bearing votive statues in a procession from Athens to Eleusis, symbolizing the promise of the triumph to come. The imagery represents Plato's three aspects of the soul. The charioteer is reason, and the two horses signify emotions and appetite, the desire for physical pleasure. Victory comes when these horses are tamed and driven by a higher mind. Thus, the card represents the focused will, self-discipline, and in the importance of a higher goal. This is good stuff. This is really cool. This is the kind of stuff I want to see Llewellyn do more of. This is deep. Um, this is cool. So then there's a message, right? Which seems pretty on point for what we would expect in a reverse message. Okay, so the guidebook's cool. We got minors. The minors are just as detailed as the majors, which we love and appreciate. That's good. That is good. Okay. Oh, they even have references. Oh, yes. Then other stuff that you might like. The Medieval Feathers Tarot, which is beautiful, but those borders are hideous. And the little notes section. Okay, all right, all right. The cards. Let's talk about the cards. All right. Now I don't mind a bigger book and kit when it comes to if you're gonna give me content like that, yes, the bigger book and stuff like that, I am here for it. Here for it. Okay, so let's get a closer look at these cards. Bring them into focus here. Perfect. So I will say my initial reaction when we saw these on the upcoming and new releases live stream was that I wasn't going to love the borders so much. I will say in person, they're not as obnoxious as I thought they would be. I do feel like it could have been more elegant to have like more of a black and white situation going on instead of like these wood borders. It's okay. It's not great, but the artwork is amazing. Very detailed. The deck is completely monochromatic, so there is that. The kind of wood frame gives it a little bit of a warmth, I guess, but I have a feeling personally I will probably trim these off. I just I think that's what's going to happen. But this artwork is amazing. Oh my goodness. And it's just as detailed through the whole thing. Look at that. I can't wait to dive into this. I think if you're looking for a deck to kind of study the deeper kind of side of tarot, more advanced tarot things, astrology, correspondences, etc., this is where this is a great addition to your collection. Isn't this great? Oh, the artwork is amazing. This is right up my alley. Oh, I can't wait to dive into this. I love the Two of Coins is like a Vesk Pisces. Oh, squaring of this. Oh, look. So just, it's so good. It's so well done. So yes, very excited. The backs are okay. They're fine. It's reversible, except for the moon. That's fine. I don't know. I don't really read with reversals personally because, well, we've talked about that. But I am excited to dig into this. So, and again, this was sent to us for review by Lewellyn. So thank you, Lewellyn, for sending this. This is Blue Angel, by the way, um, who Lewellyn is distributing for, if I remember correctly. So yeah, that, my friends, oh my goodness, that is the mass market mayhem that has been occurring here. So a huge shout out and thank you to Lewellyn and to Weiser Books for sending things over for review. I've got lots of work to do, lots of new things to play with and explore. So I'm very excited to get into some of that. Chat, if you guys have any questions for me, now is a great time for those. And then also, like I said, members, we will be doing some sort of monthly video. Like I said, I think I'm going to do some like equinox style videos or something to make up for the fact that we didn't have Terrascopes this month because of everything that's been going on behind the scenes. And I really appreciate everyone. I've gotten so many more messages and DMs of love and support and just comments on videos and things like that. You guys have been really kind and I really appreciate that. And I promise more to come. So yeah. And then, like I said, I will make a post in study hall as well. We'll get that sorted. And we'll get some time set aside to wrap up the Robert M. Place book. But that, my friends, is all I had to share with you guys today. And we're at an hour. I always feel like I'm rushing through this stuff, and then I end up right on time. Which is good, which is very, very good. But yeah, it's it's always a thing. Any questions? I don't think we have a whole lot of questions. Usually there's not very many questions on. Anyone have any questions? Which deck are you guys most excited about? Let me know. If you're watching, if you made it this far, drop a comment down below. Let me know which one you're most excited about in terms of like a review of. And we'll go that direction. And if you're in chat right now too, put in chat which deck you are most interested in a review of. I'd be curious to hear what you guys think. So, yeah. I'm just checking chat here, making sure I didn't miss anything. The surreal one, the infinite door, yeah. This one really caught me by surprise at how good it is. Sterling Ethos one. So yeah, let me know what you guys are most interested in, and we'll check some of that stuff out. But The surrealist one. Everybody wants to check out the surrealist one. Okay. We all love some surrealism. But we're going to get things wrapped up here because I'm running on fumes and coffee. I need to get some food in me and catch up on some chores around the house because we haven't been here. And yeah, again, I just want to say thank you all so much for all your love and support. Oh, thank you so much, Laura. It's been a crazy couple weeks, few weeks actually. It's been like what, 3 weeks now? 1, 2, 3, yeah, few weeks. And I just appreciate all of you guys' love and support and patience and well wishes and things like that. It really means the world to me. So thank you guys. Lots more fun stuff to come. And as always, remember everybody out there is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. So just be kind to one another out there, okay? And we'll see you guys back around YouTube. All right. Bye, everybody.